There's a quiet moment most people never talk about. It happens when the noise fades, when the screen goes dark, when you're alone. And what's left isn't exhaustion, it's regret. Not the dramatic kind, the subtle kind, the kind that whispers, "You knew better." Because comfort doesn't destroy you all at once. It erodes you slowly, silently, through choices that feel harmless in isolation. One snooze button, one "I'll start tomorrow," one evening traded for escape instead of effort. Comfort never announces itself as the enemy. It arrives as relief, as kindness, as rest. And that's why it's dangerous. Over time, something shifts. You don't just lose discipline, you lose trust in yourself. You start watching yourself from a distance, making promises you don't keep, setting goals you quietly abandon. Each time you choose comfort over commitment, a small fracture forms, not in your schedule, in your identity. It's like carrying a compass slowly gathering dust, and it still points north, but you no longer look down to check where you're headed. Carl Jung believed the psyche records repeated behavior as truth, not what you intend, what you practice. So, when you delay again and again, your unconscious doesn't hear excuses. It hears instruction. It learns who you believe you are allowed to be. That's the cost most people never calculate. Delay doesn't just waste time, it teaches retreat. Each avoided effort trains your nervous system to associate growth with danger. Becoming starts to feel unsafe. Comfort starts to feel like protection. And slowly, your future self begins to feel unreal, like a character from a life you no longer believe you'll live. This is spiritual erosion. Not collapse, but softening. Not failure, but drift. It's like letting a fire burn lower each night. Not enough to notice, not enough to panic, until one morning you reach for warmth and find only ash. Jung warned that the parts of ourselves we abandon don't disappear, they become shadows. And one of the most painful shadows is the person you could have been. The disciplined version of you, the structured one, the one who keeps his word even when no one is watching. Every time you choose comfort instead, that person doesn't die. They step back, they watch, and eventually they stop asking. That's when shame changes. Early on it stings, later it numbs. You stop feeling disappointed because disappointment requires hope, and hope only survives where action exists. This is why comfort eventually feels heavy. Why men who do very little still feel tired. It isn't physical fatigue, it's existential weight. Because deep down, you know time is moving, and you are not moving with it. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Comfort lives in the unconscious. It convinces you tomorrow is generous, that later is infinite, that readiness will arrive on its own. But time doesn't respond to intention, only to action. Every delay becomes part of your internal architecture. You don't just lose hours. You become shaped by the loss. Regret isn't built by catastrophe. It's assembled patiently through habits of avoidance. Here's the paradox. Comfort feels kind, but it's malicious. Discipline feels harsh, but it cares. Comfort says, "You don't have to." Discipline says, "Do it now." And every time you choose the first voice, the second weakens, until one day you no longer trust yourself. That is the true psychological cost, not lost productivity, lost authority over your own life. But erosion is reversible. The moment you choose structure over ease, even once, something ancient responds. The psyche recognizes alignment, not perfection, integrity. Discipline isn't about becoming someone new, it's about stopping you becoming someone less than what you can be. So ask yourself honestly, what kind of person is your comfort creating? Because time doesn't punish, it reflects. And eventually, it introduces you to the person your habits built